Happy birthday, hip hop. Up in the Bronx. Women Empowerment Week. Happy birthday, hip hop, the big show.
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
It's a 10 hair products. It's a 10. Let's go.
Broken glass everywhere. People pissing on the stage, you know they just don't care. I can't take the smell, can't take the
Who hurt?
The money to move out, I guess I got no choice.
Grandmaster Flash.
Roaches in the back, junkies in the alley with the baseball.
Africa Bambaataa.
I tried to get away, but I couldn't get far, cause a man with a touch repossessed my car. Don't push me,
Rocksteady
I'm
crew.
close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a trouble sometimes. It makes
Kenny
me wonder how
Burns.
I'm going under. Standing on the front stoop, hanging out the window, watching all the cars go by, roaring as the breeze blow. Crazy lady living in the bag, eating out of cotton field, used to be a fag hag, such a that's the tango. Skipped the life of dango, a zircon princess, seen the lost her senses. Down at the peep show, watching all the creeps, so she can tell her stories to the girls back home. She went to the city and got so severe, she had to get a pimp, she couldn't make it on her own.
Come on now.
Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
Executive producer.
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder.
Happy birthday, hip hop. Hip hop was invented in the Bronx many years ago on Sedgwick Avenue. And today's its birthday. Shout out Kool Herc, Grandmaster Flash, Africa Bambaataa, the Rocksteady crew. I was on the plane. What's up, Jay? Trees, what's up? I was just on the plane from New York. No matter what happens, I'm scared of planes. So I was tearing down that Ciroc Legendary. This is Women Empowerment Week. We have a huge guest on tonight. Sorry for being a little bit late, but still in all, we better than everybody. What do you want me to do? If I ain't show up, you be mad, because we better than everybody. Don't let nobody lie to you. We back home, you see Hector Lavoe up there. You heard that shit I just played, Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5, The Message. One of the greatest hip hop, but if I ain't play it, nobody else would though. You see the jewel? Manuel Lewis, the big show. If I ain't play it, who's gonna play it? And so I woke up last week and I said, this week's Women Empowerment Week. And boy, I knew something ahead of time. I ain't gonna lie, it was just a coincidence. But shout out Joe Biden for making that move. Kamala, first African-American female going for vice president. Ivan Barrios, what's up, my brother? Thank you for the pick. We the biggest in the game. So that's, if for nothing else, that's Women Empowerment Week. Timberland the King. Welcome to the biggest show in the game. I'd rather you just let me hold your phone, Azzy. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't going to write, you're going to write all that. You want to die to write. You know, I got a couple of questions for this very extraordinary guest, Tamika Mallory, and let me get it, Az. And so I wrote them on a plane, which is pretty weird because I've written songs on the plane. It's a certain focusedness of being in the now when you're on the plane. So I've written songs and notes and all type of stuff, you know, really good stuff. on the plane. So shout out to the Khaled family, Nicole, Khaled, for letting me be a stowaway, me and my family on that private. You know what I'm saying? Salute them. You know what I'm saying? For taking care of that one. So tomorrow night we got Tiffany Haddish. You know, Friday, it's looking like Cardi B. Thursday is where I'm trying to pull something off and these girls ain't calling me back. I'm trying to pull off something legendary on Thursday. I don't even want to say, I can't say it until I tell them. You know, now I'm a journalist. I'm media. So now when I call people, it's not just Joe Crack is calling them. Now it's like, yo, this boy Joe want us on his show. So it's a little different now, you know? As he be looking for Tamika Mallory, I got a beautiful phone call today. I was smiling from cheek to cheek. LL Cool J, James Todd Smith, he'll be on next week. Shout out to Revolt TV. Tonight will be the debut. It's the T.I. episode. Shout out to Diddy. Shout out to everybody for making that possible. Assad Khaled, he's on there. Thanks for riding with me, Uncle Joe. Assad Khaled, boy, I tell you, that boy's special. We went to the Bronx Zoo yesterday, and I'm telling him, forget me. We got we got that Jungle Boy right there, boy. All eyes on him. Special, beautiful kid, man. Okay, what's the pause? Trace. There we go. Without further ado, as advertised, we never lie. The one and only Tamika Mallory.
What's going on?
Yo, where you at? You in the West Coast? Because you still got
No,
sun.
listen, you're going to act like you know we live in Kentucky right now, fighting for Breonna Taylor. We live here.
So the sun is still on.
The light is still out. Yes.
Yeah, I'm in Miami right now. I just landed, and I'm sorry for being a little late, but, you know, I couldn't control the plane. And Sean King on the check. And what's up, Sean?
Hey, Sean.
And I was trying to tell the pilot, this is a serious guest. Like we really got to get there.
I would have done this with you anytime. Thank you for having me on. I feel special. You know, Famio is a big deal.
Yeah, you already know what it is. And, you know, I say to you, what got you into activism? What got you into? Was it your family? Break that down to me.
Yeah. So first of all, I'm outside because it's the only place that's quiet in the house. Dinner is being served to the 25 folks that we have flown in nationally to stay with us in Kentucky while we really focus on this Breonna Taylor situation. And so dinner has been served now, and it's really loud, so I came outside to talk to you. And so, yes, my parents are activists, very involved in the movement. I believe, you know, a little bit before I was born, which was in 1980, they really committed themselves. You know, they had moved here from the South. They met in New York, and they committed to being in the movement. And that for us meant everything. You name it, we were in it. Going to the Nation of Islam, we went to the mosque, we went to the community precinct meetings, we went to any kind of Black empowerment space that existed. I grew up in Manhattanville projects in Harlem. So the front, hey Ruben Diaz, the front of my housing projects was where all the Black folks were, and behind the building was where all of the Latino folks were. So it was all around Black and brown folks, and my parents were really involved in helping people on both sides. And so, you know, it was my parents' movement. I did what they said because there was no choice. It's very similar to going to church. You know, if they say you
Did they
got to go to
work?
church,
They work with Reverend now? They work with
yeah, they.
Reverend
Oh,
now
right,
too, right?
right. Yeah, they have National Action Network. um and so they, it was like going to how people in families where church is important, you have to go every Sunday, there's no option. That's how going to rallies and Sharpton's organization, that's how it was for me. But then I guess I got older, I did a lot of running away from home, got in a lot of trouble, and I started dating a guy who is my son's father. He was murdered 20 years ago now, or 19 years ago now. And at that time, you know, after he was killed, I think that's when I just started to own it. Like, I understood what my parents had been talking about. It sort of all clicked for me because that tragedy is what really pushes most people to be like, this is my thing, I'm in it. And so it became my movement at the point that my son's father was shot twice. He was left in a ditch for 2 weeks before he was discovered. Shout out to Jason Ryans is his name. Let me call his name. Jason.
You know, I lost a lot of friends. I've been shot at myself over 30 times in my life. So I know what you're talking about. I've dealt with tons of police brutality, tons of police harassment. I wasn't a good kid either. I was in the streets. I was wilding. Some of it I deserve. And when I think of people like you, I think of people who speak for the voiceless. You know, for the kid who's in the project right now getting harassed by some cops, and
Right.
they think nobody's gonna find out about it.
That's right.
And that's what's so beautiful about it, because, you know, everybody thinks God ain't watching, but He's watching.
Definitely watching.
You
Definitely.
know what
I'm
I'm
so glad
saying?
you brought up God. That's when I'm talking. Don't get me. I might have to jump up and do a little shout, a little
Nah, God
dance.
is everything. Because if you know
Every,
why, if you don't have faith, you ain't got nothing.
hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Puff,
Like
I told Puff yesterday, I was like, yo, that post that you put up about, it was this weekend. If God ain't in it, I don't want it. That's it right there. If He ain't in it, I don't have nothing to do with it.
everybody has their own relationship with God. Everybody has their own way of communicating with God. But you know, I know He's too real. So with me, I believe that we fight for everything, but we also have a little bit of luck of God on our side.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. Has any movement been made in the Brianna case? Because I know you have been out there. You say you live there now. You putting the pressure on. Is any of these police officers going to get locked up? Do we think anything's going to happen?
You know, you can never say what white supremacy is going to do. So I can't be too sure. What I know at this point is that the reason why it's taking much longer than we would hope or would expect, um, is because they're feeling the pressure like they have to do something, you know, and they're trying to figure out what to do. You know, one of the biggest problems, and I haven't really said this publicly, but since we're talking about it, I think that a big problem that they have is that some of the details of what happened that night, like the lying on the police report, lying to get the warrant application, if they fire people and arrest them for that, the folks going to turn around and say, we've been doing that. That's what we do all the time. Now all of a sudden it's an issue. Let's open up the records and show where we lie, you know, every day to get a warrant. They lie, you know that. That's what they do. They
Yeah, we
lie.
see
But
this all the time.
right, but what happened in this situation is that a young woman got killed. And so it amplifies now what they've been participating in, which is the no-knock warrants in the hood, you know, lying on the, like, for instance, the police report had a line on there that said there were no injuries. Well, how the hell is there no injuries after
She's dead.
seeing a woman got 8 bullets in her body on the ground? So they
That's
just
crazy.
lie.
So
So
I say,
so they say that they go ahead. You go.
yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say they say that something, should be happening soon, but the attorney general, who is a black man, who happens to be a Republican, but not just any Republican. I have a lot of Republican friends. I mean, I don't have a lot of them, but I do have Republican friends, and they are not Trump loving Republicans. That's very different. There's a distinction between being a Republican, which is something that may be in your family history. You believe in the original values of the Republican Party. You feel you're more conservative, but you still know that what is happening in terms of this period that we're in is wrong. But he's one that says things like Kentucky is Trump country. He's gonna, he's out with Trump on the campaign trail. This black dude, and he's the attorney general of the state, and he is the one with the power at this point to arrest the cops. And so he claims that he's waiting on the ballistics report.
Black police showing out for the white cop. Ain't nothing changed. Know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing changed. You gotta keep the pressure. And this week I invited you because on the Fat Joe show, which by the way is the biggest show in the game.
It's the biggest show in the game.
This is the biggest show in the game.
Nothing else moving.
Nothing moving right now. Let me tell you something. And what's crazy is this Woman Empowerment Week. And how important it was for you to get the women's, I want to say the right way, the women's Million Women's March. What was
no, we're going to do away, and I'm saying this tonight on this show because everybody in the world is going to hear it because it's the biggest show in town.
That's right, Mama. That's right.
The Millions Women's March is the name of a march that happened with mainly women from the Nation of Islam. They planned it. Now it's been about 23 years ago. Okay, so when these
I knew the Million Man March. I didn't know they did a woman.
Yes.
I didn't know they did a Million Women's Men's March.
So there was a Million Man March, and then there was a Millions Women's March. Okay.
So what's the march that you helped organize?
That's what I'm about to tell you. So Jada Pinkett was out there at the Black Women's March. When the white lady who called for the march we did put out the call, because she put out an email to 40 of her friends. It's a part of the story. She put out an email to 40 of her friends. Her friends sent it out to other people. And by the time she woke up in the morning, she was nobody known. And by the time she woke up in the morning, 10,000 people were saying they're going to Washington, D.C. after Trump was elected. So that's how it all started. And then we got involved and organized it. And it was the Women's March, because when they put out the call, they appropriated the name of the 20-year before march. And the black women in Black Twitter tore their asses to shreds. To shreds. So then they found
so they just call it the Women's March.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, but
that's
it might have been over 1 million people in that march. I watched it.
It was 5 million people worldwide. Yeah,
I seen that with my own eyes. I was in D.C.
Listen, I'm the biggest thing in town. Ain't nothing else moving. That's it.
That's the biggest moment in the game. Yo, I tell you. And what was the meaning behind all these women getting together in solidarity? Like, what was the main message of that march?
So they originally wanted to do a march about Trump. That was their goal, the white ladies. When the women of color got involved, and I have to say Carmen Perez, the Mexican-American young woman who runs Harry Belafonte's organization, is my partner, my love. And Linda Sarsour is a Palestinian Muslim woman from Brooklyn, who you see us together. There's many pictures of the three of us together. We got involved with the white ladies to help them plan the march, and then a whole bunch of other people. And so we said Trump is not even close to being our biggest problem. Like, we can't have a march about Trump. We got to talk about sexism, racism, fascism, oppression, police brutality, education. We need a full platform, and we developed that platform, which included a lot of issues. So the Women's March was a moment in history to challenge white supremacy and oppression of people of all different backgrounds. And that's what it turned out to be. But it started as a Trump thing.
It started out like to get at Trump.
Right.
And
Day after his inauguration, he had however many people. Y'all saw the pictures. He had a few people there, and the next day we shut the whole damn
I
country
was
down.
there.
The
I
world.
was out there in D.C. I tell you the truth, I didn't know what was going on. I was in D.C. I'll give y'all a Joker moment. All right. So whenever we say something that nobody ever heard before, it's called Joker moment. So Floyd Mayweather, the champ, we all know. I don't know how he feels now, but he liked Trump because he knew him from when he used to box and all that, right?
Yeah.
So Floyd Mayweather, the champ, is my man. So he calls me up and says, the night of the Trump inauguration, he says, Joe, I got a bag for you. Come to D.C. French Montana's going to be there. A couple of people. He was like, come through. I said, well, listen, champ, I can't do no Trump shit. He was like, nah, I promise you it ain't no Trump shit. And I love the champ. I'm not dissing the champ at all.
Right.
So, but when I land in D.C., you know, it's the day Trump gets inaugurated. So it's all these Republicans all over, tuxedos all over, all type of shit.
Yeah.
And, so now I'm going to tell you a story. So when I walk into the event, they got like, you know how they do the red carpet where they got the background set up? So I said, look, I'm not going to take them pictures until the champ come out. Because Floyd Mayweather, my brother, I love him. I believe what he says. But I'm thinking I'm getting tricked to do a Trump event. And I'm like, fuck that. It ain't no money in the world for me to take that shit. So he come up and he mad, though. He come up with his security. He mad. Me and the champ, we the best friends. But he mad at me. I almost thought I was going to have to fight him.
Oh, my God.
Yo, man, yo, I told you this ain't no Trump shit, man. Why you trying to play me this and this and that? I said, yo, everybody in here is white with tuxedos on, bro. Like, are you sure this isn't a Trump event? I ain't gonna lie, I needed that bag, too. I was like, yo. So he was beefing with me. I really thought I was going to have to fight Floyd Mayweather. Because he was so pissed that I didn't believe him. And we know each other for over 25 years. So he was pissed. But we went there, we performed. And then the next morning when I left D.C. and I was in the airport, it was mad women coming in from all over. I didn't know till I got home and watched CNN that that's what was going down. Or I probably
so whose event was? You're not going to tell us whose event it was?
It was not a Trump event.
Okay.
It wasn't a Trump event. It was like some rich people event or something, but it wasn't
some
Trump.
other shit. Okay.
I thought Trump was going to come on stage and hug me while I was
right.
Feel my life. Like, I was like, yo, listen. I thought I was dead. I was like,
oh, my God.
It was big. And then French was in there. Everybody was scared to death. All the artists was looking at each other like, yo, you sure we ain't getting rocked right here?
That's a great story.
So the women's event, right?
Wait, I see the great Raymond Santana in your comments of the Central
Raymond
Park
is all
5,
in here, man. That's
exonerated 5. We love you.
Him and Delicious, they in love.
Yo, that's the love you want to be in, honey.
Yo,
they in love.
That boy Raymond be sitting there like this, smiling, like he in cloud 9. Yo, Raymond, you gotta stop, yo. So I know, so listen, right? So this should be a good talk. So speaking of Women Empowerment Week, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden just picked up VP, first African American woman who could be VP, and female period to be VP. What did you think about that move right there?
He had no choice. First of all,
no, he had other choices. He had Stacey Abrams. He had a couple of good ones. He had Valerie from Obama.
Yeah, no. That's the point. He had to pick a black woman. So that's what I mean. Okay. He had no choice. He had to pick a black woman.
I agree, but do you like his choice?
I'm not going to be divisive. I just ain't gonna do it. Like, people ask me that, and I know, I have a lot of things to say about everybody. I could say some stuff
Well,
I
I'm
feel
gonna
about
say,
Stacey.
I'm gonna say I'm going for Biden and Kamala 1,000,000%. The only thing that scares me about Kamala was she was a prosecutor. I'm gonna say that, right? If you
Yeah,
don't want
but
to say that, I'll say it.
no,
And
no,
I'm
no,
not
no.
gonna be divisive.
Oh, no, no, no. I'm saying that I'm not going to get into a conversation of who else could have been chosen, because I see benefits in Karen Bass. I see benefits in Keisha Lance Bottoms. I see benefits in Stacey Abrams. Or I could talk the opposite side about all of them and things that they could be doing better. Well, not Karen Bass. I love her. But nonetheless, but Kamala, yes, she's a prosecutor. That impacts all of us. But I think she has evolved. And what I know is that she is qualified. She's qualified not just to be vice president, but she's qualified to be the president of the United States. That's a bad woman. That I know. We don't have to agree on policies for me to be able to see she can talk, she can write, she can think. When they go into a debate, she almost doesn't even have to practice as much as somebody else, because she could go have a debate right now. Like, you just bring her
Get
to the
busy.
street. Yeah,
You get busy. I'm supporting her 1,000,000%.
yeah.
But because we always, especially you fighting the system so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
For many years, she was part of the system.
That's right. That's right. That's a
So,
problem.
so
But I'd
it was
rather fight
something I
her.
had to ask you if this is the Fat Joe show and we keep it real. You know what I'm
No, but
saying?
I'm gonna tell you a real answer. I would rather fight Joe Biden and Kamala Harris than I would Trump and Pence. So I'm good. I'm straight. And listen, he needed her because I was struggling to deal with Biden. I'm talking about people who having to drag me by my throat and feet. And I knew what had to be done. And I was clear about it. But it was very difficult, especially when he said the other day that Trump was the first racist president. I'm like, bruh, what is you talking about? And now they can stop him from talking, because he doesn't need to talk. He can't talk much. They give him a few times. They need to let Kamala talk. She needs to go debate Pence.
Listen,
She gonna
Joe's
whoop.
a great, listen, she's a great debater. Joe, let me tell you, Joe Biden, he's a good man. And
I
he's
didn't say
been
he
fighting
wasn't a
for a
good man.
long
I said
time.
he can't talk.
I know, he's a little older. He's a little older.
A little.
A little. Yo, listen, let's not go there, okay? Like, stop
Okay.
that one. That's
Sorry.
not where we're going with it.
All right. Well, you asked him. You saw my start talking about be real. So I'm on the
that's
best
too
show
real.
in the world.
That's too real.
Nah, I'm with them though. I'm with them. We're gonna get them in.
Shout out my son, the general, for making this happen. My brother, man, he's been out there in them streets with y'all heavy. He grew up like me, and now he's in the streets for change. I appreciate him. When I say we in the streets and everybody's saying defund the police, right?
Yeah.
Now, I believe that the police heard that loud and clear and said, you want to fire us and defund us, so we're not going to work. And so now when you look at New York, you see all these shootings going up, all this violence going up, babies getting shot.
Yeah.
Do you believe that the police are taking a back seat and they saying, oh, y'all want to get rid of us? So y'all handle yourselves. Y'all figure it out.
Baby's been getting shot, and they ain't solved it yet. This ain't no new thing. It's just that at the same time that we're in this moment, summertime has popped off, all of these holidays where we always see a rise in shooting. You also got 50 million Americans unemployed from the COVID-19 crisis. So you got to start there if you want to talk about what's happening with the uptick in violence. And the police ain't doing nothing about that. The Chicago been shooting and killing forever. Have the police solved it? So the point is, when you talk about defunding police, at this point, y'all really can't help it. All you can do, we can call you, it may be a deterrent or whatever, it may, make some people feel uncomfortable, but most of the time, the cops are showing up after the shit goes down. But what we know is not being addressed is the fact that the person the fight is mentally ill but ain't got no services. Somebody might be hungry and rob the store so they could eat, or rob somebody else so they could eat, so they could give their children clothes. It might be a fight that started because somebody told a kid, man, you can't even fucking read. And the kid can't read. You know why? Because he goes to a school that has been defunded. So now what we're saying is we need to take a little bit. I'm an abolitionist. I want police out of our communities completely, but that's not where we are right now. So this movement is talking about taking a little bit of money from you and putting it to our communities and making sure that people have the resources they need so we don't even have to call the cops.
Yeah,
That's what
my
defunding means.
sister Remy says they defund the schools all the time.
Exactly.
And yeah. Let me ask you a question, right? So every time we see a white guy or any police officer kill a black or brown person, we take it to the streets, we get excited. Has there ever been a plan? Has there ever been something that's been planned so we can stop black on black crime or brown on brown crime? Like, is there an answer to stopping this? Has anybody sat down, like you got 30 people from out of town in Kentucky, to say, you know what? We have to go in Chicago. We have to go in New York. We have to talk to these gangs. Has anything ever been created to do that?
So you know very well Erica Ford, A.T. Mitchell, Shanduke McFadden, Ife Charles, Aisha Sekou, Reverend Vernon Williams, my son. And we're talking local. I'm just talking about in New York. Those are people who do anti-violence work every day. And in their target markets, Joe, in Erica's community, and where Man Up is, and other places, violence, until this spike happened with the unemployment, the COVID, people locked in their house, mental health, all the stuff that's been going on, violence in their communities was down, way down. I'm talking about almost non-existence in some places. The city is touting. New York is saying that we are the most safe city in the U.S., right? Large city, big city. We're the safest. Well, they tout that because of the work of something that we created in New York called the criminal justice system. But what we know, the crisis management system, But what we know is that poverty is violence. I see my sister Leslie Redmond say that. So if you have poor people, under-resourced people in any particular community, you're going to have violence. And that's why defunding the police is a part of the process that you just asked. Has anybody sat down and thought about it? Well, that's one of the components. We think about it every day. There's people doing real work out here. And the way that the crisis management system exists is that it employs people who are previous shooters, people who have been in and out of the system, people who know the streets, and they go and they do real work. That's real intervention work. And that's what we're talking about funding. And so we have many of the locations for crisis management in New York, which what helps to keep the city safe. But we're looking for more resources to expand that work, to make sure, and it's also happening all across the country, but it's not sexy. And why would law enforcement or even the media want to show a grassroots organization that's stopping violence in a few blocks when they really want to focus on making the community look terrible so they can put more enforcement, so they can gentrify and take your shit away and say it's in the name of safety? So it's a trick bag. It's a whole trick bag that's going on. And that's why Until Freedom, the organization that my son and I co-founded along with attorney Angelo Pinto and Linda Sarsour, the reason why we did it, and I'll give you an example of what I mean, but the reason why we started is because we believe that the people who are most impacted have to be at the heart of the work for the solutions, that they know better than those of us who live in our places far away from the hood. We show up to help, but we have to listen to their voices. And so today here in Kentucky, it was our first, Tuesday. We're doing something called Good Trouble Tuesdays, which is in honor of Congressman John Lewis. While we're here every Tuesday, we take people out. And we're supposed to be going out and, you know, talking to influential people about Breonna Taylor, making sure the residents of Kentucky are also included, asking them as rich folks and otherwise to make calls on behalf of Breonna Taylor movement. But today we decided that the place we were going to start was in the hood, because we need to go. Don't put it on social media and think our people are going to know. Back to the old school canvassing. Go talk to Black and brown folks, explain to them what's going on, and invite them personally to join the movement. And I knew this was my song coming to get in the conversation. No, this is my song.
Yeah,
Who
my
just
son.
can't.
Yeah, my son.
Look at
Where
this.
you at?
Come here, he want to see you now.
Hey, this a family show.
Look, he says a family show.
Yo, this a family show. My son, talk to me, man.
No, beloved, I really was coming to turn on the lights, but I just wanted to get a little clarification about black on black crime. It's a myth, because blacks commit crimes to black people because that's who is close in proximity to them. It's called proximity crimes. White people commit crimes against white people. White people actually kill more white people than black people kill black people, but that's not a stat. And you never heard of white on white crime. They'll never tell you that stat.
My son, what I'm talking about is all the babies getting shot in Chicago, getting shot in New York City, all the gangs killing each other. I'm talking about, do we have a solution for proximity crime? Like, what is the plan for that?
The plan is to defund the police and put the money and the resources in the community. Because me and you both know, when we was in the hood, the reason why we was committing crimes and we had violence, because we was broke. When you got some money, you didn't want nothing to do with no violence. All of the dudes that you know that was putting in work in the hood, soon as you showed them something else and they got out and they got a couple of dollars, they completely went away from violence. So we understand that poverty is violence. We can attest to that. Me and you can attest to that. Right now, the average person that you might have beat up before or really got into some violence with, you're not even going to entertain that because you are financially stable, you got a family, you're not mad, you're not dealing with none of the trauma issues that caused by poverty. So we understand that poverty equals violence, Joe. So what we have to do is figure out, how do we empower our communities, how we give them resources, how we give these kids off the streets that's probably making $200 a day, hustling and risking their life. If we could give them jobs, if we own things in our community, if we gave them $200 a day, they can stop the crime in the neighborhoods. That's what Erica and AT and Shandu, that's what they do. They employ the young gangbangers that's in the streets.
I got some of them in my store.
Exactly.
I got Erica, she shipped them right over, and they the best kids in the world.
Now see what I'm saying?
No, they the best.
Yo,
they the best kids in the world.
They good kids, man. They help me. They work with me.
Nah,
Matter of fact, I'm glad
we all know he's right.
Yeah,
so,
he's
so
right. I mean,
it is. We gotta give jobs back to the black and brown community, so that everybody.
No, not just jobs. Not just jobs. Because, sorry. That is also a myth. That if you just give people jobs, they're going to be good. If you give a person a job that has a severe mental health issue and they haven't been given the resources to help them work through it, they're going to lose every job you give them. It's always going to be a problem. She was looking at me funny. I don't like, because they got problems that need to be addressed. If you don't give people the educational tools that they need, they're going to be working at the McDonald's, which is fine, but that's not the goal. That's a pit stop, you know, but they're going to be at the McDonald's. So and if they have a job and they got to go home to a community that is poverty stricken, that's a problem. So we have to figure out a way to elevate the entire thing. And our communities deserve that. That's why Kamala Harris being announced today is a good day for Black people. And I hope that sister goes in there and recognizes that she's the key. She's the ticket. And we're going with you, sis. Like, we actually going with you to the White House. Okay. That's right. So she needs to understand that it is her responsibility. And we know politics are what they are, guys. They're not going to be able to do everything. It's not going to be perfect. It's not even gonna be super radical because that's just
So,
not what they
so,
do.
so, Tamika, let me ask you something, right?
Yeah.
You going to a good point. Has been, in my lifetime, this has been the strongest showing of unity, solidarity between all races.
Mm-hmm.
Right outside of Donald Trump's home, it says Black Lives Matter. I'm watching NBA, Black Lives Matter. Everybody has different symbols on it. I mean, this is the most solidarity we've ever seen. What is the best case scenario that could come out of this time? That our kids could look back 30 years from now and say, listen, they did this. This was the time.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, you know, that's a deep question, Joe. I would say, from just Kamala's perspective, this is the time to be as black as you want to be. Like, if anybody wanted to, if you want to go to your corporate office and be black right now and say whatever's on your mind, heart, make them give us money, change rules, turn it up, be black, be blackety black. Okay,
Black
so
as shit.
I would say if there's nothing else, at least we are at a point when people can go and be themselves. But I think that what we have to be able to really accomplish right now is, as you said, we're already doing it, getting people engaged and changing this whole narrative. Nobody is safe. Nobody is comfortable. Everybody knows that they have to be in this moment. And so we have to change things on so many fronts. We've got to put people in office. Cori Bush just got elected the other day, a young protester who was able to now get elected to office. That has to happen all over the country so that we can really do what Jumaane Williams, our public advocate in New York City, is doing.
That's my
real.
guy.
That's a black man.
No, that's my guy. He's been on the show. I mean, he's the truth. He's the truth. He's the truth. I want to see him go for bigger positions.
Yeah. But you got to call him because he got a short window to run for mayor in New York City, and he's saying no.
Run for mayor. He don't want to run for mayor. He got Eric Adams. He got all of them. He said no.
I know. He said no. All right. Whatever.
He don't want that smoke. He want to run it from up top. Let me ask you a question, and this is a buffoonery question, but what do you think, you powerful sister running the movement, when my brother, who's my favorite rapper ever, Kanye West, said that Harriet Tubman ain't free the slaves? Like, what you was thinking when you heard that?
Kanye, well, he one of the people I'm talking about that need the mental health services. He need the services. That's one of the people that I'm talking about in our community that needs services because there's something wrong. And I think that he's definitely an opportunist. I think that, you know, there's a game being played that I'm not even sure that Kanye realizes he's a part of. And that's the sad part about it. But I also feel like there is definitely a problem. And something has happened to our brother, you know, and I just, yeah. I hope that the Lord moves and shifts him back to a place of alignment with himself and his people.
Yeah, I hope so too, because he's my favorite rapper and I love him. But sometimes I ain't gonna lie, he say some crazy shit like that right there. I was like, fuck, man.
Ignorant.
Like, man, like, you know, I try to defend him, and I'm like, fuck, man, why you go there? Look, I usually do top 5 favorite rappers or R&B singers, but I need you to give me your top 5 most influential, powerful women that inspired you.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I don't appreciate not asking me about the top 5 rappers. I have to go now. So
you was ready for that.
Yes, I do this. They mad at me now because I'm on my page talking about WAP. Like, they've been selling WAP all our lives, y'all. Stop acting like people putting out their good music.
Like it's brand new.
Yes,
you need everything in hip hop.
You need it all.
You need everything in hip hop. I disagree in censorship. I disagree in, this whole cancel culture shit. Every celebrity that has come on this show in the last 3 weeks, from Tyrese to Floyd Mayweather to anybody you name who's come up, Rick Ross, whoever, they all say, I don't like this cancel shit. Keisha Cole, I don't like this cancel shit. It's like, I heard they were signing a petition to take WAP off the radio. Like,
well, I don't know about taking WAP off the radio. I understand the part about taking Kylie Jenner's ass out. We didn't need that, but that's neither here nor there. You know, whatever.
Who's your top five most?
5 women. So Beyonce, I would say, is 1. Let me see who else. I would say Maxine Waters is number 2. There's a woman in New York that is and you might. She's the head of the NAACP New York State Conference. Her name is Hazel Dukes. You know Hazel Dukes. You've been around.
Yeah, I know Hazel Dukes.
I would say she's extremely powerful. I have to say my mother, a black woman, engaged me in this work and has brought many other women. There's unsung heroes, people that we don't know about, who have led these movements, and my mother is one of them. And then last, I would say, damn, people are putting good stuff like Winnie Mandela's good, but then last, I would say Kamala Harris, because she just got anointed and chosen as the vice presidential candidate for the presidency of the United States of these here Americas. That's a bad woman.
It's a big day. It's a big day.
It's a big day.
It's really a big day. I got that news while I was taking off on the plane, and I got the marinator to be like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, it's really going down. You know, it's really going down. And now, Tamika, before we end this, top 5 MCs, dead or alive?
Dead or alive. Tupac. I have to say Biggie. I would say Nas. I would say I have one more. I would say
you got 2 more.
Rhapsody. No, I got
Rhapsody.
2 more. I would say Rhapsody, and then I have this, and of course my song. So that's my list.
Hey, yo, let me tell you something. Not because my song's your guy. He's with your my song's nice.
Oh, he's nice. That's it. That's
nah,
it.
He's nice.
That's it.
He's
Yeah.
nice. You know what my sister Remy say, Papoose? I'ma say Papoose too. Like, because he's nice.
He's nice.
What do you want me to
That's
do?
it.
I ain't gonna lie to you. So it's like, all right, so that's your 5.
That's my 5, but it's many more.
Yeah, you know, I think top 5s have changed like the weather. Every 3 weeks you're allowed to switch them up. Nah, for real, because I don't think nobody repeats the same top 5 a month later.
No, right? Yeah, probably not. Nah, things change, things shift. But somebody on here just said, hell no, my song cool, but he ain't nobody's top 5. I suggest you go listen. You got to go deep into the crates. You really do.
Nah, he's nice and he's talking that shit.
Yeah.
He's nice and he's talking that shit. And it's hard to speak consciousness, but yet and still have gangsters appreciate your music.
Exactly. New York shit.
Yeah,
New York shit.
Shit. You know what I mean? That's why we love Pac, because Pac could do however you want it, you know that, and then rock out to, you know, Dear Mama.
Dear
you know
Mama. Dear Mama.
Thank you so much, Tamika. I'm sorry for being a little late.
It's all good, brother.
Great.
It was great.
And I'll speak to you soon.
It was great. Thank you so much. Peace and love to you and all the people in the comments. God bless.
Listen, don't forget, this is the biggest show in the game.
The biggest show in the game. And wait, since you got the biggest show in the game, make sure people go fill out that census form, people. I know you got it in the kitchen. So on the top of the microwave, it's thrown to the side. Go get it, fill it out. It ain't going to take but 10 minutes. Do your thing. Peace, y'all. Love y'all.
Peace, Tamika.
Bye, Joe. Thank you.
Let me tell you something. God bless. Let me tell you something, man. You heard the woman. She out there every day protesting. Fill out your census. I've never filled out a census in my life, but I am now because she asked me to. Timberland the King. This is the big show. Revolt TV. Thank you for giving me a home. It comes on tonight at 10 p.m. Revolt TV. You'll finally get to see that T.I. interview in its entirety. Shout out. This is Women Empowerment Week. Kamala Harris has just been picked to run with Joe Biden as VP. This is big. You need to get out there and support. Shout out to It's a 10, Women Hair Care Products. Let me tell you something. This was created by a Latina girl that was adopted, that was a hairstylist and didn't like the products, and created her own brand that does hundreds of millions of dollars a year. She's my sister, Carolyn Aronson. And that's why I'm spotlighting her products on Women Empowerment Week. Tomorrow night, Tiffany Haddish. We're going to talk about her growing up, humble beginnings, why she worked so hard. All of that and more. Put God first. Please wear your mask. Please sanitize your hands. Please clean your hands. Shout out to Ciroc. Go on Revolt right now if you want to see Fat Joe, 10 p.m. Eastern. Mama, we made it. We on TV. Like my brother Mark Jackson says, hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man. Ah! We killing these people. Oh my God. We killing these people, man. This ain't no regular shit, guys. Every night, the biggest show, 5 months straight. Keisha Cole yesterday. Shout out to the Bay Area. We are not playing with these people, man. Thank you for tuning in and getting some great conversation, some educational conversation. I know you could be watching Michael Blackson and chicks twerking. Rasha Bahasa. Salam alaikum, my brother. Ro Parrish, the man, not the myth. Timbo the King. What's good, yo, Ro Parrish? Keep showing that love. I've been watching you on TNT, NBA channel, talking about it's really the real in the Zion era. Shout out my sister Remy, E. Philly. I love all of y'all. Put God first. Put God first. Without God, we ain't got nothing. All right, once again, shout out to Mama Khaled, which is Nicole. Shout out to Little Assad, Khaled, for giving me that lift on that G5. Okay? And had beds in it and all that. And I hit the Ciroc real quick because I hate flying, especially small joints. My birthday coming up, I might be cooking something up legendary. I might be. They want me to go on a vacation. Turks and Caicos, fly shit. But I might want to throw a phenomenal party with you guys in attendance. Send me your feedback on Twitter. Before I leave, let me see big biggest show in the game, guys. And you don't know who I know. We take it to the streets. I don't see the biggest. I'm looking for, I see it. I see it. The biggest. Big UFO B, Ro Parrish, Timberland the King. Love you, Timbo, boy. That versus, man. Congratulations, man. Congratulations, man. I always say, versus during quarantine, D-Nice, and then the Fat Joe show. It's the truth. That's where it's at. But we are by far the biggest in the game. I'm watching other journalists switch up what they talking to the artists about now, getting like a fake Joper moment, the whole DNA. Because you got to realize, journalists, especially urban journalists, have been jamming up your favorite artists forever. Jamming them up. Say shit about this guy, that guy, this, and make the whole interview about some shit that never happened and start some rap beef or diss him or jam them up. Now they say, God damn, the biggest show in the game is all about love. That boy killing them off of love. And so now everybody got to figure it out. Because now we don't really want to look at those guys who are just dissing our favorite artists, our legend. Let me go. That's a big call. Peace, y'all.